Okay, listen to this. If you've ever wondered what it would feel like to shift timelines, well, you're in it right now.
Wow.
Two worlds are running in parallel. One is dying, built on control, fear, and fragmentation. The other is rising on resonance, coherence, and wholeness. We are living in the transition space in between them.
That's powerful. Who said that?
That description comes from @Kristen1942 over on TikTok. And honestly, it just perfectly captures what we want to dive into today.
It really does. It sets the stage.
Because this is the latest part of our bigger series, waking up in a dream, what the world is starting to remember.
And what's so striking right now is that this feeling she described, this being in between, this liminality, it's not just some like fringe idea anymore.
No, not at all.
It feels like a shared global experience. People everywhere are sensing that reality itself is, well, shifting, restructuring somehow. So today, we really want to unpack the mechanics of that shift. And specifically, what happens? What are the consequences if we stay asleep versus choosing to wake up in this collective dream?
Right. But hold on. Before we get into like the glowing cubes and different paths, a quick ask for you listening.
Yes. Important.
Please hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're listening. It makes a huge difference. It helps us build this community, this group of conscious dreamers, and it directly supports Brandon's work in putting these deep dives together.
It really does help. Okay, so the split. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the feeling, the one we hear about constantly, probably the thing you feel most acutely right now, it's just distortion.
Distortion.
Reality feels weirdly sped up, right?
Yeah.
Or inside out.
Yeah.
Almost, I don't know, cartoonish sometimes. Surreal.
Surreal is a good word for it. Things escalating way faster, getting kind of radically crazy in ways that just feel different from how things used to be.
Yeah, like the pattern's broken.
And that intensity, that acceleration, and just sheer weirdness. Experienced dream masters understand this isn't random. Distortion actually tends to overperform. It gets amplified right before a system hits a breaking point.
So it's like a warning sign.
Sort of. Think of it like cognitive dissonance, but on a huge systemic scale. If you study historical collapses, you often see this massive spike in fragmentation and things just not making sense anymore right before the whole structure gives way.
Okay, so the feeling isn't necessarily that everything is failing, but more like the old world is having a massive tantrum as it loses its grip.
That's a great way to put it. It's thrashing about. And that's precisely why all this talk about timeline shifts is blowing up on social media. People are feeling that systemic break internally. They're asking themselves, wait, is this still my reality? What's going on?
It feels familiar, like the process of waking up in a personal dream.
Exactly. It connects directly to that individual journey towards lucidity. Just like someone has to realize they're dreaming and wake up inside the dream to gain some control. The collective is kind of facing that same choice point now. And it's interesting, this whole idea of life being a simulation or a video game, it's gone mainstream.
Oh, yeah, big time. You hear serious scientists, tech billionaires talking about it.
But what we're digging into here goes beyond just if it's a simulation. It's about how you might change the program, how you interact with it.
And that how brings us to this concept of the fifth dimension of choice, which sounds, well, pretty out there at first.
It does, but it's fundamental if you want to understand the mechanics of shifting realities. Advanced practitioners often work with this model. Picture a glowing, sort of undulating cube.
Okay, got it. A glowing cube.
So that model represents the structure of reality. You've got the three spatial dimensions we all know: length, width, height. Then you add time, that's the fourth.
Standard stuff so far.
But then there's this crucial fifth axis, and that's the dimension of choice. It's nonlinear. It relates to resonant frequency.
Okay, this is where it gets a bit more complex, but it feels really important for understanding this split.
It's vital, because this fifth dimension, imagine it holds all the possible timelines, like laid out side by side, energetically speaking. Not just infinite random chaos, but a defined spectrum of possibilities.
Like different radio stations.
Exactly like that. And your consciousness, what experienced dream masters call your assemblage point, acts like the tuner on that radio.
Oh, okay.
It locks your perceived reality, your 3D experience, onto a specific frequency, a specific channel that's available along that 5D spectrum.
So choice.
Yeah.
Our choices are what tunes the dial.
Precisely. Choice determines which frequency you resonate with, which reality branch emerges from your now point. But if you're not lucid, if you're not consciously choosing,
Then what?
then your tuning gets defaulted. It gets pulled around by all the external noise, the collective distortion, the fear, the tantrum of the old world.
Wow. Okay. So if the individual journey mirrors the collective one, then the whole world is basically standing at this branching point right now.
Yes. Being forced, consciously or unconsciously, to use that fifth dimension of choice to select which reality comes next.
This feels huge.
Yeah.
And it actually connects to some really deep ancient wisdom, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. We can't really talk about these two diverging paths without acknowledging the living wisdom of the Hopi prophecy of two paths.
Right. And it feels less like some old story and more like a map that's unfolding right now in real time.
It really does. The prophecy describes these two paths with such incredible clarity. There's the first path. Let's call it the path of coherence.
Coherence, okay.
This is about harmony with the earth, sustainability, humility, renewal. It's about internal unity reflected outward, living in balance.
And the other path.
That's the path of collapse. It's defined by disconnection from nature, from each other. It's about domination, fragmentation, relying on systems that just aren't built to last. They're fundamentally unsustainable.
Two very different futures.
Very different. And the prophecy, this living wisdom, emphasizes that these paths run side by side for a while. But right now, they are rapidly diverging. We are standing right in that in-between space.
The transition space from the TikTok quote.
Exactly, where the world has to choose. Wake up and consciously step onto that path of coherence. Or keep sleepwalking down the path towards breakdown, dissipation.
And the choices we make as individuals, they suddenly feel incredibly important for the whole collective timeline.
Never more consequential. This deep wisdom, like the prophecy, gives us the map, but actually interpreting that map, making the shift, that takes the kind of deep understanding we've been exploring, the kind detailed in Phillip Aisling's work.
Which is the perfect moment to mention the Kickstarter again.
Yes.
Good timing.
Because if you want to really dive into these mechanics, get access to the tools and the full story of waking up that we touch on, you need to be ready for the upcoming Kickstarter launch.
The best way to do that, go to philipaisling.com right now. Just hop over there, sign up for the newsletter. That way you won't miss the launch announcement and you'll get access to the early bird rewards.
Definitely do that. philipaisling.com. Okay, so let's get back to the big question hanging over all of this. What actually happens if we don't wake up?
Yeah, the default path. If we just stay asleep, stay comfortable in the old reality, fail to achieve that lucidity, what's the outcome?
Well, we know from practice, from observing these patterns, that if lucidity isn't achieved, then the old programming takes over. Unconscious patterns dominate.
So the dying world.
It doesn't just fade away quietly. It actively tries to pull everything down with it. It drags the unaligned, the unconscious into that collective collapse. This isn't just like a metaphor. We see the systemic mechanisms of this pull everywhere.
Can you give us some examples? Like, what are the practical signs of this collapse path? Is it just like economic systems failing or something else?
It's definitely economic, but maybe even more clearly, it manifests as informational and cognitive system failure, breakdown in sense-making.
Okay, like what?
Think about relentless fear amplification, division getting deeper and wider across every possible line, political, social, whatever, and that distortion we talked about, turned up so loud that just thinking clearly becomes exhausting. Decision fatigue sets in.
That sounds draining.
It is. On a personal level, this constant systemic failure shows up as chronic burnout. A feeling of losing personal agency, like you're just tossed around. Feeling perpetually confused about what's even real or true anymore.
And the ultimate cost, if we stay on that path.
The ultimate cost is losing free will itself. As control systems, built on fear and fragmentation, consolidate power. It loops right back to that stark warning from Philip's mentor, the Oracle.
I remember that. Learn to control your dreams lest they control you.
Exactly. And if we apply that to our collective waking reality, if we fail to consciously tune our own assemblage point, our own frequency,
then the chaos tunes it for us.
Precisely. The collective chaos tunes it by default, locking us onto that timeline of collapse.
Okay, those are incredibly high stakes, which means we absolutely have to shift focus to the other option, the conscious choice.
The path of waking up.
Becoming a conscious dreamer.
Yeah.
Someone who, even when everything outside feels chaotic, remembers they have choice, they have agency, they have power.
Yes. And the action required isn't about fighting the old world directly. It's about alignment.
Alignment, how does that work?
Just like Philip learned on his journey, it's about stabilizing your own awareness first, intentionally choosing to resonate with the frequency of coherence. Waking up isn't about escaping reality.
Right, it's not checking out.
No. It's about achieving internal vibrational resonance. That means getting your beliefs, your feelings, and your physical actions all lined up. True coherence. That's the only mechanism that allows your choice to actually shift your experience toward that path of renewal.
And we have to keep circling back to that core teaching, don't we? It feels real because it is real.
Always. Whether we're talking about a personal dream at night or this collective waking dream, our choices, our intentions, our alignment, they have real weight, real consequences. Your intentional alignment is your contribution to building that rising world.
So let's try and synthesize this. What's the big takeaway for you listening right now?
I think the core realization is that this idea of splitting timelines isn't just some sci-fi trope or abstract theory anymore.
No, it feels like the most accurate metaphor for the collective choice point we're actually living through. It explains why the world feels so intensely weird and polarized.
Exactly. The old world, the one built on fragmentation and control, its distortion is cranked up because it's set for collapse. Its tantrum is only going to get louder, more erratic.
But the new world?
The new world, the one rising on coherence and resonance, it rises more quietly. It's maybe only visible, only accessible to those who have consciously, intentionally aligned their own frequency with it.
Tuned their dial to that station.
Perfectly put. And the crucial point here is realizing that, going forward, not everyone might be on the same timeline, experiencing the same reality construct. Perspective becomes paramount.
So the question for each of us.
The essential question for you, the individual tuner, is what perspective are you holding on to? Which frequency are you choosing to resonate with moment by moment? By focusing your energy, stabilizing your own awareness, you actively step off that default path of collapse.
And onto the path of renewal.
Onto the path of renewal.
So what happens if we don't wake up? We slide into collapse by default. That seems clear.
Yes. But if we do wake up individually and hopefully collectively, we consciously step onto that path of coherence, harmony, and renewal.
That really is the fundamental choice facing all of us right now.
It truly is.
So a final thought for you to chew on. Have you felt it? This sense that timelines are splitting or diverging.
Yeah.
What specific clues, what little synchronicities or moments of total disconnect are you noticing in your own daily reality?
Maybe start paying closer attention.
Yeah, maybe even start journaling them. Those moments of lucidity, those sensations that feel like timeline shifts, just noticing them is a powerful act of awareness.
It's the first step. Begin exploring the nature of your own reality right now, today. And please, follow, like, and share the deep dive if this resonates. Help us keep exploring this journey together.
And one last reminder, head over to phillipaisling.com. Get on that list for all the updates, the Kickstarter news, and more explorations into this dream world we're navigating.
Until next time, keep dreaming consciously.